feels good to be 2-0, and definitely, know we have a lot of work to do. I felt like, first of all, I want to give EKU a lot of credit. They played a very good football game. We knew all week that it would be a tough game. I know a lot of people have their own opinions and don't, but we watched them last week versus Western. I said it in my press conference on Monday. I believe our players knew that this was a good football team, that it would be a tough, hard-fought game, and it was. And I give them a lot of credit. They did a lot of good things. And again, I give our team credit for doing what they have to do to win the game. So we're 2-0. That feels very good. And the nice thing is we know, and our players know, that there's a lot of things that we need to improve on, and they'll do that. We'll get better. We've been in this position before. We were in it last year, and the record wasn't the same. And we improved as the season went on, and we got better. And we won a lot of football games, since we kind of improved in turnovers and running the ball, and so we've done some good things, and we got to continue to do that. We got to look at all areas and see. Offensively, it was frustrating at times, but you look out, you look down, and you rushed for 200 yards, you threw it for 200 yards, and there's just some silly mistakes. There's still some discipline things that, again, that nobody needs to hit the panic button on. We just got to get back to work and iron some things out, and we'll do that. Again, we had a high snap to kill the possession on the fourth down, and that hurts us. They had momentum. They did a really nice job of just kind of keeping us off balance and being efficient with their offense and getting some sets and nickel and diming us and getting some first downs and moving it on us. And then we got some big stops and got some turnovers, and again, did what we had to do to win. We'll look at all areas and we'll continue to improve. It feels really good to be 2-0, and I can't wait to get back out to practice and looking really forward to the challenge of going to South Carolina this week.
Mark, was the plan to get Drew Barker in on the first drive of the second quarter, or what was the decision
Yes,
making there?
we said, we said that we were going to play him on the third series, no matter what, and we did, and we have to. We did. We said the same thing last year when Steven was back up, because you're one play away from playing, and sure enough, Steven was playing. So we had to get Drew back out there and get his confidence up and get him playing and get him some snaps and see what he can do.
Mark, talk about some of the passes he made to Blake and some of the others. I mean, that intermediate pass, last year he threw some long, really sweet high passes,
Mm-hmm.
but he made some line drive passes today like he really hasn't done.
Well, the one that got tipped, you may be referring to, it took a second for the receiver to work open. He was working, he had a couple guys on him, he had an option route, and he came clean. But by that time, the D-line got their hands up and batted it down. You're talking about
overall, how well he's
what are you talking
Blake.
about, Steve?
Talking about Steven.
Steven.
Oh, Steven, I thought you were talking about Drew.
No.
Oh.
Steven
Yeah.
had thrown a lot of loop long passes that were sweet last year.
Yeah.
Threw a lot of line drive long passes like he hasn't done. It was really good.
Yeah, well, it was really nice to see us. Our issue, as you know, in the first half on some plays was protection. And it was the running back one time that I remember, and maybe the O-line here and there at different times. Again, one guy here, one guy there, that we were getting breakdowns, and it was hurting us because we had some guys open. And once our protection got better, you saw that in the second half. I believe it was the first possession of the second half, the double move, the long pass down the boundary, and he connected, I think, with Blake. But that was a really nice pass. But it starts with protection, and we gave him good protection on that play.
Mark, kind of nice was it to see that kind of production out of Blake Bone? You've been waiting a long time for that.
I'm really pleased. And, in general, with our guys, we talked about it all week, just making plays for the quarterback, defensively making plays. And we need guys to step up, and we challenged them to do that. And it was good to see Blake make those.
Mark,
you got to help out your quarterback. You guys all watch a lot of football. You watch it, man. There's some balls, and there's guys covered, and those big dudes go up and get the ball. And it was nice to see us do that a few times today.
Mark, you talked a little bit about offensive line, but that was something you really hung your hat on a season ago, and being able to line up and sort of manhandle people. A lot of upheaval. Maybe some of us underestimated how difficult that can be. Guys changing positions, season-ending injuries, little nagging injuries. Is that all kind of added up to being more of a challenge than you hoped it'd be?
It is. I think with the injuries, is definitely fair to say. I said it from the beginning that it was unfortunate because it does weaken you, some. we have confidence in guys behind me, but it just hurts your depth, it hurts your rotation, there's injuries, we're moving guys around, guys get banged up. You know, we still rushed for 200 yards. The protection, you know, I got to look at the pass pro. I know the backup beat on one bull rush, but you know, definitely we gave up some pressures from the O-line as well. But they'll get better. If you remember, last year was a lot the same too. They did get better as the year went on, and we got much stronger as the year went on at the O-line position. That comes with developing guys as well and getting some more guys some reps, and you know, we just got to get the trust factor up with some guys and rotate them in some more.
When the pass protection isn't as effective as it probably should be, how important is it for Steven to be able to make plays with his feet like he did on that foul?
Yeah, it was really nice for him to make that. Obviously, that was a big play, and he does that, and he's made good decisions, and he seems to, you know, for a defense, those are those aggravating, back-breaking runs that happen against us. Sometimes it happens against all great defenses, you know, but you know, so it's good, you know, to see him do that. He made good decisions, and again, he protected the ball today, right? He protected the ball again.
Mark, what was the explanation Jordan Jones gave you for the video that came out this week?
I'll keep that between Jordan and I.
Mark, the play that where Lynn was ejected from the game, did you see enough to have an opinion on that?
Yeah, I had a strong opinion that it was going to stand. No, I had a strong opinion. I agreed with him. It's just, it's unfortunate. We really, and again, it's a young guy with some inexperience. It was nothing malicious. He tried to lead with his shoulder. He tried to hit the shoulder. But as the rule states, that if you make any contact with that face, all right, Lonnie.
It's not Lonnie.
I know.
He's got him as an name.
I'm teasing.
But he believe he's
I
throwing
know,
on
it's
set.
just where you usually sit. So I just assumed it was you.
He's the one calling.
What was I talking about? Oh, so Bowden's, yeah, it was nothing malicious. Like I said, he really tried to make a good block. He did make some contact. There wasn't a lot. It wasn't a brutal hit or anything like that. But if you make any contact with head-to-head, they're going to call that on an unprotected player. It's unfortunate more than anything, because you know you saw he had some touches on the kick returns, and we really wanted to get him going. And it stinks for him. I feel bad, but it was just an honest mistake, and we talk about it all the time, just with peel back blocks, whether it's kick return, punt return. You know, even if you get an interception, defensive guys always want to peel back and take somebody out. You can't do that anymore. And we really emphasize that, and like I said, I think it was unfortunate because he made some contact with the head there.
Mark, what's your general feeling on the targeting rule, the being kicked out for the entire game? Is it too harsh?
I mean, I think it's, honestly, I agree with it anymore, because you know, we got to get the head injuries out of the game as much as possible, and I think it's really helped. And we haven't had one for a long time. I can't remember when the last time we had somebody kicked out for a targeting. It's been a few years.
Darius West had 11 tackles, didn't
Yeah.
start today. What
Yeah.
did you see from him?
I saw, again, a guy play pretty well, you know, and he did that last week, and he's getting better and better. He needs the experience, he needs the reps, and I didn't see any real blatant mistakes, a few things here and there that we got to get worked out, but he's doing some good things, and he's a physical guy. He did miss the one on the touchdown run. He came clean and missed it on their run in the first half, but he played a good game.
Second straight week, the defense has held opponents under 100 yards rushing. What do you think about that?
The rush defense has been really solid. They've really solid 2 games in a row. They rushed for 60 yards, but there was a few aggravating runs, and that's to their credit again. They were good. They were balanced for a while, you know, and getting just a few yards and keeping us off balance so we couldn't just pin our ears back and all that. They kept us off balance, and they were efficient. I don't know what they ended up with total, 300, 318. You know, but they were an efficient 318. So we got to get some stops. I was pleased with some of the stops we got later in the game.
You were way down in the rankings in turnover margin last year, but you won the turnover battle the first 2
Yeah,
games.
what was it today?
2-0.
What was it today? 2-0.
2-0.
Okay. Yeah, we're +4. We've made a strong emphasis on that, and that's good to see. And you see it's paid off. 2 games in a row. It's very important. We've emphasized it, and you know, sometimes, you know, there's plays, you know, when the ball's on the ground and you just don't get it. You know, last year some of that we didn't get them a lot on the fumbles, and you just never know with that. It's the luck of the draw sometimes how the ball bounces, but it's good to be +2, and our defense is trying to create some turnovers, and I've been very pleased with our offense today, not putting it down.
Mark, was snapping a concern coming into the season, or was something
Yeah,
that
I
was
mean,
surprising?
it's just something that, you know, that you don't see it as much in practice, so you don't think it's an issue. And then you get out there and all the situations are different. I believe that bad snap is on fourth and 1 or fourth and 1? And so you get a little anxious maybe, and yeah, it's hurt us, you know, and that's why I said that EKU, you looked at them last week, and they were moving the ball over, but what's fault, their drives were some bad snaps, you know, last week in the first half, and so, you know, we got to do our part and get that cleaned up.
Well, especially he got back in the second quarter, the offense, some of us started moving. Did the kids respond to him? I mean, it's not the first time he's kind of been in a bad situation, and he's come in and calmed them.
For sure. I mean, I think they respond to him, but I think it comes down to everybody doing their job too, and getting some time and some protection, and not having bad snaps, and you know, and things like that. So just all playing together.
How encouraged are you though that you feel like you can play a lot better? You're 2-0, but you feel like you can still play a lot better?
It's the whole key. You know, it's the whole key. So, you know, it feels very good to be 2-0, and we know we got a lot more in us, and it's a good team. It's not, they didn't come in here and want to like lay around and not play well. That's not the mentality of this. There's a lot of things we could come out and play with a little better and execute, but it's about us. It's about our discipline and execution, things, you know, that we can get fixed. So, you know, we'll play better, and we're excited about it. The team's excited about it.
Mark Benny got his, I think, ribs x-rayed in the first half.
Yeah.
Got up a little slow on a couple
Yeah.
of those runs there at the end. Is you worried at all?
Yeah,
about
but
going forward?
those can be painful injuries. You know, they x-rayed him and they were negative. He's fine. So it comes down to a bruise, but those bruised ribs get very sore, and so he came back and fought hard and helped us.
Were there any other people?
I think Kyle had a banged up shoulder there late, but I think he's fine there as well.